Opinion of women in the workplace. A study says this, quote, men in traditional marriages married to women who are not employed disfavor women in the workplace and are more likely than the average of all married men to make decisions that prevent the advancement of qualified women, end quote, an entirely subjective and silly opinion. Meanwhile, the opinions of men who marry women who work become more positive over time. Now, this is, if there's one thing I would say that elites on both sides agree with, is that the traditional family is like archaic, outmoded, scary, bad. And this is just more propaganda designed to attack that institution. I can say, as someone whose wife dropped out of the labor force to raise kids 20 years ago, I respect my wife much more for raising our children. This is garbage.
Do you have less respect for us, though, than working?
Of course not. That's completely your business. But this is like,
sorry, Harris.
I reject this notion. I know I'm not even asking a question. I'm ranting, but that's how I feel.
And I'm good with your rant. I'm really good with it. I've never experienced this based on how a man was married. I mean, if somebody is going to mistreat you, it generally has to do with you and that person and something that they might want from you.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if how somebody is married and their wife's choice to stay home and work, because that is as much work as any of us do when we leave the house.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how that would inform the guy, except for if he loves her, he would treat women with more respect.
Well, and isn't that the case, that people with happy marriages like other people and are more magnanimous and kinder to other people?
My thoughts go much deeper than that. My thoughts go to the man must have had certain thoughts and beliefs and traditions to begin with to want to marry a woman who is willing to stay at home and raise his family.
Wow.
So he already had sort of preconceived notions on a woman and her place in the workplace. Does that make sense?
But what if
no, it doesn't make sense
to stay home after they get married?
Bingo. You can't. There's not a woman in the world who can be forced, well, to do anything. I've noticed.
That is
but certainly not to stay home. This is a choice that a woman has to make. No.
If you have a stay-at-home wife, though, and let's say you're a guy and you see the benefits to that, whatever they may be, that she's with the children, and you grow to like that, do you think that maybe it could change your view of women in the workforce or whatnot, given your situation? If it happened to work out well for you, I think it could sort of change the way you view that in general.
It might. I mean, you might say, I prefer that my wife stays home rather than work, raise our kids rather than go into an office. But the idea that you would hurt other women as a result of this seems far-fetched.
I agree. I think the study's a bit of a leap. It's from a website called The Frisky. Okay, so consider the source. The sample's only about 1,000 people. Again, I think there's probably a kernel of truth to the fact that men who have wives who work are more understanding about workplace life balance and flexibility. However, I don't think that means that they're sexist. I really don't. I will say